All right, here at FOBAB. Easy. Here at FOBAB, we're in line for Bourbon County, and I ran into an old friend of the show.
You can go with this. You could go with that. Flew in from France.
Serge, I cannot believe you're here. You didn't even tell us you were going to be here, man.
Yes, I flew in.
When did you fly in?
Yesterday at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.?
2 p.m.
Did you come yesterday, or is this your first day
yesterday.
Here? No, I'm saying, did you come here yesterday, man?
No.
No. All right, that's cool. So what are you most excited about trying?
2017, how do you say a prop?
Oh, 2017 prop.
Prop.
From Goose Eye.
Goose.
So we're in line right now, and I think all they have is 2022 regular Bourbon
I'm
County.
sure this will be used in the show, yes?
Yeah.
I'm sure the recording capabilities perfecto.
Pretty good. Well, you're not on the phone, so. Clark, Clark's here too. Clark, do you want to say hi to Serge?
Serge, good to see you in person. Been a long time. Really looking forward to hanging out later and having some sausages.
Oh.
Yeah, so good sausages.
Fantastic.
Oh yes, we're almost there at the line. Let me get in front because I am a Frenchman.
All right, Serge. Well, thanks, man.
Peace out.
We'll talk to you maybe again about
Peace
another
out.
beer.
Catch you on the flip side.
Heyo.
This week, we recap our experience at the Festival of Barrel Aged Beers 2022. This is episode 97 of The Malting Hour.
What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast, that's beast. This the Malting Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The Malting Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Welcome to The Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Gullick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
And that's it. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
Tired. I'm good, but I'm tired. I feel like the hits keep on coming, man, in a good way. You know, this is a busy time of year for us right now.
Yeah, it just feels like, and like it feels like there is a lot going on, and we're trying to cram as much in as possible before the year ends. So, I'm thankful both because we're cramming stuff in because we're getting invited to stuff and we're getting to do things. But it's also at the same time, it's like, it's exhausting.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell. My one eye is severely bloodshot, so I have like allergies. It always bothers me. But this eye is also, my eyes are like, I'm tired. I'm tired in the best way possible because it has been a very fun weekend. It's been a fun couple of weeks, and anybody who listens, you obviously know what we've been doing, and a lot of fun that we've been having. But we decided to do a little bit of a recap of the 2022 20th anniversary Festival of Barrel Aged Beers this episode. I always like to say this evening, but not everybody's listening to this at night.
Yeah.
Not that you guys fucking care, but still, I care. When I listen back to it the next day or the day after, and I hear this evening, I'm like, no, you're not listening to this at night, are you? You guys listen to this in the morning.
Maybe
the day.
I'd like to assume that some people lull themselves to sleep with the sound of our voices. Wait,
Hey,
that's
me,
not weird.
Tony.
Like, hey, don't fall asleep listening to us. Like,
This is why we do this show, so you can go to sleep. It's the snoozing hour.
and they wake up like, I know a lot about beer.
Or they wake up when you go, and we're back!
I'm responsible for heart attacks. Like, oh my God, that guy scared me in my sleep.
People peeing themselves.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we got the chance to be media for the Festival of Barrel Aged Beers. We don't need to go into what the Festival of Barrel Aged Beers that much, because if this is your first episode, again, weird episode to jump into the series, but we did go back and listen to episode 94, which is when we were at Haymarket and talked to Ray Stout and Pete Crowley, and we did the whole history of the Festival of Barrel Aged Beers. But as a Brandon, do you want to tell everybody like a short version of what the Festival of Barrel Aged Beers FOBAB is?
Yeah, essentially it just started off as a way for people that make wood barreled or bourbon barrel aged beers. And again, that's a kind of a good point to make, is like not everything's bourbon barrel aged. Some are just aged on wood. And the wood imparts flavor into things, and it doesn't always have to be a stout. We go down to ciders and lagers and meads, all that kind of good stuff. But anyways, so the short history is Pete Crowley and some other folks decided that they wanted to have a little bit of like a friendly competition. Started at Rock Bottom Brewery here in Chicago, and Rock Bottom, I think, is a national chain. I
That
think.
is correct. That is correct.
I don't know how many are still around or where they're all really located, but downtown Chicago, Pete was working there, decided he wanted to do this festival and like kind of test out this whole barrel aging of beer things. And they started the competition, and it's kind of grown from there. So from being at Rock Bottom, and I think he said to like the Plumbers Union and to the Bridgeport Arts Center. We say Art Center.
I think
and then on to like a couple iterations in the UIC's buildings. And currently it's at the Credit Union 1 Arena is where it's been. And actually, so as far as venues go, I loved that venue because there was like, so yeah, getting beer got crowded.
Yeah,
But there was...
we were lucky enough, by the way, to get in an hour early.
Yeah.
We got to walk around with some of the brewers and other media
Yeah.
people as well, which was super nice.
Yeah, and it was a hefty hour, I would say.
Jesus, in 45 minutes, I was like, Clark and I both looked at each other, and I think at one point we were like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But we did stay all 5 hours.
Yeah, I think we left a half hour early, and which was great because then we were able to get a lift and get home, and
I was able to eat Chinese food and fall asleep to watching Netflix.
nice. Yeah. So, but what I loved about the space was that there's room. Like you have the whole seating area was kind of open to everybody, so people can go and sit, kind of take themselves out of the festival and like just kind of watch. And we did that a couple of times. Mainly during the beginning of the award ceremony, we kind of watched the beginning, and then we ran off to go do some other stuff, try some other things. But yeah, I mean, overall, like that venue is a cool venue, and I think if the festival gets bigger, they may have to look at other venues. But as far as it
Which
goes,
is something that Ray had said that he felt at this point this was as big as as they wanted it to get. As far as like how many people they were going to have like come into the event.
Yeah.
Just because there really was the most crowded, the two times that I saw that was the most crowded was when the awards were going on, because everybody was down on the floor hoping to be in the area where a beer was announced as a winner for a medal, so that you can go and try it if they didn't already try it. Clark, in fact, was trying to go try a beer from Temperance that I don't think won, but he was trying to go down there to try it because he wanted to try it during the awards and couldn't get there. And he got as close as to where like one of the booths were by us, which was Sun King, and Sun King won a ton of awards.
yeah, they
So he was
cleaned up.
they did. So he was able to try something from them. So that was kind of cool. And the other long line was when people, I think, finally realized that Goose Island was outside in the train car during the changing of the hours. And each hour, it seemed that Goose was putting on two to three different beers, two beers on tap. At one point, there was a super long line. We had come inside, and I asked somebody in line. We were going to the bathroom. They like the line was just stretching. I'm like, "Do you guys even know what you're in line for?" And he just goes, "Bourbon County, man." That was it. They didn't even know what they were waiting for. So I thought that was kind of funny and fun.
Yeah, and I get it, especially for people there. And if you go to FOBAB, there's got to be a set of people that go there hoping to try things like Bourbon County because they don't want to chase it and they don't want to have to buy it. But like, hey, go! I tried it. It is what and
or they're in line hoping to try some older vintage variant that. It might pop up on tap. They've been known to throw random stuff. Goose Island's got a lot of tricks up their sleeve, so I had no idea what to expect of what was being put on. I knew some of the newer things from this year were going to be there. I knew that from the night before, I assumed that Prop 21 and 20 were going to be on tap, which they ended up being the last two beers that they put on tap for the day. But I didn't know some of the other ones, so it was like it's kind of exciting to like be in that line waiting for it.
Agreed.
Now the other thing about that was that as long as that line got, it moved fast.
Oh, yeah.
They moved that line super fast. Like, we saw it, like, building up because they held people off because they were about to change over what beers they were going to pour. We went and sat down. I don't know if we were just hanging out or if that was when the awards were starting.
It was like the pre-awards type thing. They were doing like the Godfather thing, I think it was called. And that's when they came out and they were like, praising Pete and all that stuff, which was hilarious. And I think Pete ended up taking over as MC and then just announcing the rest of the awards. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was very funny. They played Mr. Crowley. That within like 5 minutes from when we saw that line being as long as it was gone. That line was gone. I actually got up and went into that line, and I was in, and I was back at the seat. I think for like in 5 minutes from the time that I got up till I got back. It was maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty
quick.
quick.
Moved to a different section. Yeah, and they happened to have the Old Forester, the 150th anniversary.
That's right.
And Kentucky Fog on tap, which was fun because I really like 150. If you guys remember from our Bourbon County build your own media kit from this year.
What? And it was funny because you said the 150, and Clark seemed so confused by that. Like, like the beer that we liked, that we was pretty unanimous. Like
the one that you said, Clark, that you were gonna like. Oh, I can't wait to sit there and try it and just sip it by myself, so I can taste all those layers of pepper and leather. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how he said it too. But yeah, I mean,
sounds
there's
right.
so many variants that they have, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, like it moved along nicely. So those are the only 2 times that I felt like, oh wow, there's a long line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Even though we got a chance to walk around early and try a lot of random beers very quickly, it didn't seem like many people had to wait for many things, and that there weren't super long lines. I think the only other early line that I stood in was for Half Acres Benthic.
I was literally just going to say that was the long line right at the beginning. So,
and that was like in and out. It wasn't even like waiting. Like the line looked kind of long, but shout out and hats off to the volunteers who were pouring very well and very quickly and got everybody in and out of those booths and the stations very fast. It was seamless. Like I didn't feel like I waited very long at all.
No. I'm trying to think like what was the longest I waited, and that was probably the Benthic. No, it would be a goose line, but you were sitting outside like chatting or whatever, and it went fairly quickly.
And that was when the line I felt was stopped too.
Yeah,
like when they were holding it.
Yeah,
I would say the longest line waiting for a beer was in the Lager Lounge.
Yes. Yep. You know what? I will agree with that.
And it wasn't that, again, it wasn't that long. It did not take long. It was just, there was a lot of people there waiting to grab full pours of lagers. And they had like 2 or 3 people pouring beer. So like, but that was fun. We got to talk to a lot of people, especially the second time or the third time or the fourth time we were up in the Lager Lounge. We got a chance to talk to a lot of people, which was a lot of fun and made me wish that we had more things to give away, because I kept asking you. I have no buttons on me. I gave away my buttons 4 times. Kept asking you for buttons. We gave away stickers. We got to talk to people. Brandon was talking to people. I was talking to people. Clark was talking to the guy from Watermark. It was a lot of fun. The Lager Lounge was a very nice addition to FOBAB this year.
Yeah, and one thing, and again, this is like not rubbing it into people's faces, but we did not.
Oh, but we're gonna do it.
We did not realize until the end that we had access to like the brewers area or whatever, solid food back there, and like.
Yeah, it's something that we've learned now from going to. I mean, this is the first year we've been considered media for these festivals. We got a chance to like go and hang out in those areas. Like from Beer Under Glass, we got the same thing. That was super fun. And then here, like we didn't even think to like just walk in and ask or talk. Like we just didn't really cross our minds. But we got to go back there and it was super fun because we ran into some people that we knew. We got some good food. We got some good beers and got a chance to just kind of like hang out with a lot of people that we've known and met, like not only through the show but outside of the show as well.
Totally.
So that was a cool way, because I think after that we ended up going back up one more time to the Goose Island train. That's when they had the 2020 and 2021 prop variants available.
So out of Is there any beers that you had that stand out in your mind?
That's a tough. Like, so I was gonna keep track, and then
I started to, and then I trailed off.
Yeah,
at about 1 o'clock.
I think Clark was about to do it right away. Which, by the way, Clark may or not be joining us at some point. There might be an insertion somewhere during this episode. Clark is busy with some work stuff that has prevented him from joining us, but work, family, kind of takes precedence over this. We might have something from him. If not, we'll have him talk about it some other time. But he was going to check in this first beer, and he says, "Forget, I'm not even going to try." And once he said that, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try either. I'm just going to enjoy myself. I checked in 0 beers for the entire festival.
I didn't either.
But the funny thing is, the beers that stood, we talked about it when we were on the train. Like, there are just Chicago and Illinois is so lucky with barrel-aged beers and hazy IPAs we've talked about before, but especially barrel-aged beers. Like the barrel-aged beer program that we're surrounded by is so good that I couldn't help but go to all the local places. There's a lot of people who will say, "Oh, there's tons of beers that you got to go try from places that breweries that aren't local," which I agree with. If that's what you want to do it. But I also like really trying all the local stuff because I might be able to try it again. But there are some local stouts that I'm probably not going to try this year.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to buy. Excuse me, I got to cough real quick. I muted myself for that. The one beer that, if I had to choose some of the top local beers that I had and top beers of the fest for me, number one is Old Irving's Krampus in the Buff.
Bluff.
That was Bluff. Thank you. I say Buff, naked. That hit everything that I want and expect from a barrel-aged beer. It was sweet, not overly sweet. It got a lot of barrel, but not overly woody. It had a nice body without it being super thick, and there was a slight bitterness to it. It was, God, it's
everything you want in a barrel-aged beer.
Yeah, it's what I remember, and I'm not taking away from what Goose Island's Bourbon County tastes like now, because we always say, we've done so many episodes on Bourbon County. We love Bourbon County, regular Bourbon County, but having that beer kind of reminded me of the first time that I had Bourbon County.
Yeah,
having the Krampus in the Bluff, that's just so fantastic. I think all three of us had it more than once. Am I correct?
Agreed. And I think that's the only one that we all went back for.
Correct. If I had to choose 2 more that stood out, just going to go 3. Benthic, was it 2x4?
Yep.
That had so much coconut in it. It was and I love coconut, so I don't know if everybody's going to like it, but it was like sweetened, shaved coconut that you use for baking, chocolate and coffee and stout and barrel. It was really, really, really good. I really liked that beer. Those are the 2 that are standing out right now. I know a third one will come to me. Brandon, what about you, man? What are a couple beers that stand out for you?
Yeah, so I'm kind of I'm in the same boat. Krampus was just phenomenal to me. I did like Benthic. I felt like because we had so many and I say so many, at that time we had 5 or 6 beers, and then I had the cup of cinnamon, and the cinnamon was lost on me, and I
forgot about that,
and I was sad that it was lost on me. I know it's there. I just at that point, we were 30-40 minutes into the festival, not even, and literally the barrel was just overtaking my mouth. But one that I did really enjoy was the red wine barrel aged Triple G, which was the Belgian triple that was barrel aged in red wine barrels from Sketchbook. I really like that because I do enjoy good red wine, and I really enjoyed how well that beer just kind of the Belgian, all of the notes that you get from a Belgian beer really complemented the red wine characteristics too, because I was getting notes of red wine and getting notes of Belgian beer, and it was tasty, man. So that was
Yeah, you and Clark both really like that. I enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it as much as you guys. You guys really liked it, which I think is awesome. That's a good, that's a nice. I think it's a good example of a barrel aged beer that doesn't necessarily have to be bourbon.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about beers that we like, but just kind of one I wanted to put out there that it was just like, I don't want to say it was disappointing. It was just not what I was expecting. Was the double barrel Dino S'mores? Like it was.
Yeah. I'm with you.
The mouthfeel and like the characteristics that came through, it just did not, like, I wasn't getting a lot of barrel. I wasn't getting a lot of like even heat. It just almost tasted like regular Dino S'mores to me.
Maybe like a buffed up.
Yeah. Like a slightly heftier version, but not even that much heftier. There were some more characteristics that kind of came through, but I felt like the characteristics of Dino S'mores were being amplified. I felt like I was getting a little more graham. I was getting a little more chocolate. But the barrel and everything was kind of lost on me. And I'm not knocking Off Color in any way. It could totally be by the fact of the other beers that we had kind of beforehand, but
we tried cleansing our palates with water numerous times, but there's only so much you can do. Yeah.
And I wanted, I forget which one it was. The first beer that I had, it was from Great Lakes. I'm trying to think the stout. They have like a standard stout.
I thought I took a picture. I was looking at it. I thought I took a picture because that was the first, like, or one of the first stops we made over there as well. But Clark and I grabbed something else that was
okay. So it was barrel aged blackout stout. So that's right. So Great Lakes does do blackout stout, and they had a barrel aged version of it, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was really good. It was a good like starter for me for the day. Kind of set the precedence. But yeah, that was super good too. So that one totally gets an honorable mention for like being a fantastic beer. And
I have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say you had mentioned honorable mention. So there was one beer in particular that gets a shout out from me. If you guys go back to the Great American Beer Fest, I think we talked about Corporate Ladder Brewing's Champorado.
Oh, we did.
That caught me off guard when I had it because I had no idea what to expect. I didn't put it together that it was spice. Nobody told me. So I even sent a picture to Dan. They had a double barrel Champorado there at FOBAB. And I was pretty excited about it. I was like, okay, good. I know what I'm expecting, so I'm going to go in and try for it. And as I went up to the volunteer, now mind you, this is a volunteer. I don't remember it at the Great American Beer Fest if it was someone from the actual brewery or a volunteer who poured. The volunteer goes, just so you know, this is spicy. And I thanked him. I go, thank you so much for saying that, and I hope you're telling everybody else that. And he was.
He told
was
me
everybody.
too.
Yeah, it was really fucking good. Like, I knew exactly what I was getting into, and the spice was, like, the heat was nice. Like, it was a solid, like, spiciness to that beer. It wasn't, like, overpowering, but it was like, man, it hit barrel, chocolate, cinnamon, spice, everything perfectly. That was, like, a redeeming beer for me. Like I said, I probably would have liked it at the Great American Beer Fest had I, been told or put it together myself, but I didn't. But, yeah, that was pretty tasty. I want to say one more thing. You'd mentioned Off Color about the double barrel Dino S'mores. Did you try the tequila barrel aged beer for tacos? What did you think of that?
I liked it.
I did too.
Was it you or Dan? Somebody was saying it's like, oh, it just, or not Dan, Clark was saying, it tastes just like regular beer for tacos.
That was me. That was me in the beginning.
Yeah,
because it was like I went and like had some water or something. I don't know if I got more of it. I don't remember, but I think I gave it some time to like register in my brain. Like, hey, you just had like I think I had a modern. I have the picture of it. I had Modern Times, which I was going to mention. Mega Devil's Teeth Hazelnut Cocoa Vanilla,
and that was good
right
too.
Beforehand, that was awesome. I had that right before, so it wasn't fair of me to take that first sip and be like, just tastes like beer for tacos. But after I think you had some, you were like, I don't know, man, I'm getting some of the barrel, and so I waited. I switched it around a little bit in my glass, and I took a sip, and I'm like, okay, there it is. And the tequila barrel was really nice, and I was really excited about that beer because I love beer for tacos. I think it's a great, great beer.
Yeah, and that was kind of my take on it too, because I rinsed my glass first, I drank a bunch of water, then I got a fill of it. And the first thing I got was like some underlying tones of tequila. I got a little oakiness, and then I got like the beer for tacos. And I like, in my mind, I was like, dude, I really wish I had a taco right now, because this would go great together. Beer for tacos.
Beer for tacos you can drink all the time.
I do want to say, the majority of the beer for whatevers are perfectly paired with whatever they're trying to pair it with. I don't know about beer for golf, because I don't golf. But
the beer for food stuff.
Yeah, the beer for pizza has been really good. The
beer for burgers.
And beer for tacos. I mean, just solid fucking beers. And like, again, given a choice, I would drink that one again over like the double barrel like Dino S'mores, because I was getting more out of that. But also, I would love to do double barrel Dino S'mores, not in this whole like FOBAB setting. Just have it separately. And because we were there right in the beginning, so a lot of these beers were like chilled, like chilled. And I was like, you're giving us small pours. I don't have time to warm this up in my glass to see if anything's going to come out. So I'm drinking this ounce that you're giving me.
It's a fun way to try these beers, but you can't.
It's not a fair way to assess them most of the time,
especially with how many of them that we tried.
Yeah,
it's a fun way to like try beers. It's a fun way to try like a whole bunch of different barrel aged beers. We didn't even really get onto like sour beers or meads or Perry's or anything. We went hard on like
because that's literally what we walked into, like stouts, and it's like, all right, this is setting
even
the precedence.
When we went down on the floor, it was like, yeah, look, there's more stouts. Let's go.
Yeah, but you had what you had said too. Like, I don't know if I can do the sours. Nobody's got Tums.
It's I'm looking forward to already next year, because I would like to attack it a different way, to be like, okay, maybe I start with some sours, start with some wild ales, maybe some meads, some ciders, some Perry's, just to dip that in there. Because I thought that would be fun to like cleanse my palate, but the Lager Lounge did that for me. So,
yeah.
I mean, I like all those other styles, but I mean, I'm there for like barrel aged stouts and porters.
Yeah,
and strong
and
ales, man.
I will say, like, the addition of the Lager Lounge was like, that was clutch, man. That like
killer.
Just taking a break from all of the heavy stuff that you're drinking, and it wasn't like you're going in and like getting, here's an ounce of a lager to cleanse your palate. Like, no, they were filling up our glasses.
Yeah, they filled up your glass, yeah.
And
who was there? Noon Whistle,
Microphone,
and more. Those are at least the three that I remember. I think there was a fourth.
Was Pollyanna there?
I don't think so.
I'm trying. Yeah,
they could be.
Yeah.
They could be. Sorry to the fourth brewery if there was a fourth brewery that we forgot you.
But yeah, very cool idea. It was like neatly like kind of set up in the
It felt like a cool little lounge.
Yeah,
man. There was tables. There was a couple let me have some of their popcorn. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to talk to those people. When we first got there, because of Bourbon County hype. I'm going straight into that. I wanted to know, because they had the train car outside, it was super cool. Each hour they were rotating 2 beers. When we first got there, they had Midnight Orange and Moncherry. Now, those are 2, I would say, polarizing variants that people either, I think, loved or hated. We did not go out for those.
And it was interesting that that's what they chose for like the VIP hour.
Absolutely. Which I kind of want,
because it was empty that first hour.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of people out there. Midnight Orange, I wouldn't have mind trying again. Clark and I just had Moncherry from the bottle a couple weeks ago, which was tasting great, but because they weren't 2 variants that I was like overly like thrilled about, I was in no rush to go and have them.
Yeah,
right there and then.
Agreed.
But the first hour, once 1 o'clock hit, the sign changed on the. If you look on our Instagram, there's a picture of it. The sign on the train changed to 2022 Bourbon County Original and the 2022 2-year barley wine reserve. I was pretty fucking excited about that.
Yeah, and I think that's the one we went for.
Yep. In fact, we ended up going to that twice because we had regular Bourbon County, and we started with the barley wine, but we ended up having the regular Bourbon County as well because we went back out there. We stood out there for a while, hanging out, just drinking it. And the 2 year, I mean, we have a bottle of the 2 year barley wine that we're going to review soon, along with 2 other variants right now before it's released because we're cool. Thank you, Goose. But what's your? It's hard to again. What's your first impression on that type of take of the 2 year barley wine and regular Bourbon County, if you want?
It's so. I mean, I can't say anything about regular barley wine. Or regular Bourbon County because it's Bourbon County. Like
it was tough to like sit there and compare it to anything else at that moment.
Because Bourbon County has been so consistent, at least the last couple of years. Like, you know what you're going to get. And it was exactly what I was expecting. The barley wine, however, I go back and forth on enjoying barley wines because some are done really well. Some are just done, like, okay. And if it's okay, like, I don't really want it. But, and we talked about this, too. Like, we reviewed some older Goose Island barley wines, or we had them, and we weren't like huge super fans of like the older barley wines, but this one just like hit everything you want in a barley wine. Like I was getting barrel, I was getting a little heat, I was getting like toffee and like dark fruit and like just super, super well balanced. And I was impressed, and I enjoyed every sip of that. I would have went back like multiple times for that one, but when I talk about going back multiple times for places, like, I'm sorry, Goose, I don't put you in the running, like, because
Sorry, it was Krampus.
Yeah.
It was Krampus that went back.
Yeah, well, Krampus was like the best, but like, yeah, that was like Krampus was still my top, but like, yeah, I was just really impressed, like how well I enjoyed the barley wine and how well the barrel and everything kind of complemented each other. Yeah, like really, really, really good.
Yeah, I had a hard time judging it at that moment because when I think of a barley wine, at that moment, it tasted somewhat dry to me, which I thought was kind of nice. So I don't know if that's really, like, I expect barley wines to be sweet. Not overly sweet, but a sweetness to them. And it might have a sweetness to it that I wasn't picking up because we had already been drinking a few other sweet barrel-aged beers.
Yeah.
But I did really enjoy it, and I do understand now why people are hyping that one up so much, as well as the 30th anniversary. So that was exciting to try. What were the other? Oh, okay, I remember the other ones. The 2022 coffee was another one that we tried from Bourbon County, from Goose Island. What did you think about that one?
I liked it. I felt the coffee was subtle, but I feel like it kind of added to like the chocolate and like just the overall like characteristics of a stout. And again, that could be serving temperature or whatever, but like I thought it was good. Like I feel like this is probably like I think we talked about this before. Like I don't remember the last time. Was Cafe Olé the last time they did a coffee one? Or
I believe so.
I liked it better than that. Going off memory.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny that you say that the coffee was subtle because I got, again, palates are destroyed at this point because this was later in the day. I got a lot of coffee. I got like almost all coffee, and not in a bad way. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like that's one I am going to seek out.
But that's what you want in a coffee stout. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm seeking it out because I want to drink that fresh. I'm going to drink that, like, no matter what I end up getting from this year, from all the random places that are selling it this year, when I get a coffee one, if it's on Black Friday and I happen to grab, an allotment of some, I will probably not drink regular first. I'll probably drink the coffee first because I want to have it as fresh as possible because coffee is in there. I mean, again, it's fun to try some of the aged stuff, but a coffee one can be fickle. Who knows? In a year from now, it might not taste that great.
Yeah.
It might have faded. It might get that green pepper type flavor from it.
I don't know who or what I was reading, but somebody was saying that they were getting the green pepper, like, off drinking it at FOBAB. I'm like, what?
I also feel that's just different people's palates.
Yes.
Like, you're going to taste things. It's like some people, when they taste
fuck, what is it?
Cilantro?
Yeah, it's like soap, or it just tastes like cilantro. Now I get how people can taste a soapiness from cilantro, and the same people say the same thing about mosaic hops. There's a soapiness to it. Sure, that's just how different people's taste are. So that's a possibility. Some people might get green pepper from that type of bitterness from coffee in a stout, in a beer. Then you guys weren't out there for Kentucky Fog or the 150. I had to pour of the 150. Still tasting awesome. I still got my... So it's right back there, Brandon. All those are empty except for the white bottle. The white.
Nice.
Those are just things I'm saving.
Pretty sure I have one.
You do? I'm pretty sure you have 2 or 3.
Yeah. I'm
it still tastes great. I'm looking forward to having that bottle. I'll probably have it with you. Having that sometime maybe this year, just to maybe around the holidays or something. Maybe for our 100th episode. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it was tasting good. And then the final ones they put on were Prop 2020 and 2021. Which prop did you get? Did you get 2020? I think we all got 2020.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we all did. No offense, 2021. Just weren't our favorite, even though you got better. But to be honest, man, at that point of the day, I didn't finish it. I can't tell you if I tasted. I don't know what the variants. I forget what's in 2020.
I think that's the one where my glass blew off and broke.
Yeah.
I put it on top of the garbage can and I just went.
Hey, you got that coffee mug though. Am I right? Got that coffee mug.
I had another glass too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. It was enough. I had enough.
Yeah.
So, no offense, Goose, but I was done. And again, it's not a marathon to drink all the stuff, but I was a kid in a candy shop for the first 45 minutes, and we didn't get shitty. We didn't get belligerent. None of us got sick. None of us felt like crap. I think. I don't know. I haven't talked to Clark really, but yeah. I mean, overall, I think it was a really good fest. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. It was awesome going with you and Clark. It's awesome going with you every time, man. But it was cool to have Clark along instead of Dan, because Dan's not around. Loser. Just joking.
Poor Dan.
Hope you brought back beer from Florida. But yeah, it was awesome, man. It was great, and it's cool to celebrate with people again and doing 20 years of FOBAB. What was your take on the whole thing, man?
Yeah, agreed. Very well put together, very well organized. And then the interactions we got from past guests and people that we just run into, like Tim from Old Irving, and then we got to chat up with Ray and Tobias from Rabbit Brewing, and obviously we ran into Shalonda and Nick. That's
obvious.
Always a good time.
Reunited with Shalonda again, 20 years later.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's been since the pandemic, right? Like,
yeah, we've talked to her. Like, I've messaged with her and things like that. We've chatted here and there, but that's the first time we've ran it. We saw Nick earlier this year at Goose Island.
Oh yeah,
but,
the innovation thing.
We've not seen Shalonda in a long time, so that was nice. You guys are gonna hear from them soon. So
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was cool hanging out with them. We saw Eric Flores from Whiskey Hill, ex Goose Island. That was over in the Brewers Lounge, so that was cool.
Yeah. But yeah, very well put together event. Super chill, super like everyone there was like really cool. I enjoyed. I don't think we had any bad interactions. I think the lines were okay. Like the lines weren't crazy. I did like we were kind of sitting there when like awards were being announced, watching like lines form at like certain places. But I was like, I think Clark. That's when Clark was down there, and you and I were both like yeah, I'm not going down there. But yeah, it was a fun time, and I'm super excited to see what next year brings. Not even just like the beers and people that bring beers, but also like how the event evolves. Like the Lager Lounge was clutch, like killer. I loved that they had that addition. I hope they bring that back next year. And
I think they will, man.
Yeah.
I think that was such a smart idea,
Yeah.
and it was so fun to hang out. And it was a nice and everybody that we ran into. I did not run into a single jerk.
Yeah.
Unless I was being a jerk. I don't think I was. But everybody that I ran into was super cool. Everybody was there for the same reason. Have a good time.
The worst part was seeing one person forcing himself throw up outside of it.
Oh yeah, that was literally when we were leaving.
That was disgusting. That was conduct yourself a little bit better, everybody. Okay. Other than that, it was fantastic.
Agreed.
Yeah. So thank you, Illinois Craft Beer Guild and FOBAB and everybody that we've talked to the past couple weeks. Thanks for inviting us. We had a great time. We look forward to going back next year and look forward to all the other events and things that are going on, coming up next year.
Agreed.
It was so much fun, man. And kind of a cool, not that we're getting close to the end of the year here, but as far as festivals go, I feel like this was a nice lead into barrel age season for us, especially in Chicago, and also a nice lead into like the end of the year. Like we're getting to like the holiday stuff. So it was a fun time to spend with you and Clark hanging out. Like it wasn't like the Great American Beer Fest where we were like so focused on recording and talking to people and like we got to actually, I felt like this was more, we got a chance to experience it as people, just like friends hanging out and trying these beers, and it was great. And as we get closer to the holidays, we'll be doing more of that. So it kind of felt like a nice preemptive holiday hangout for us.
Yeah, it was like you said. It was a great closeout to the year, but a great beginning to barrel age season, because this is when the heavy hitters start coming out, and that's when the chasing starts for people. So.
Absolutely, and we're lucky enough to not have to chase all that much.
Yeah.
We are, and we look forward to talking to everybody and bringing you some more content of all this fun barrel aged beer stuff, and who knows what it's going to be. This is the length of an episode, so you know what I'm calling this, baby? This is episode 97 of the Malting Hour. We have a couple episodes left before the 100th episode. We got the Malties coming up. We got some holiday beers. We've got Michigan beers. We got some Michigan beers we're going to drink. We got some Bourbon Counties we're going to drink. And then who knows what's going to happen in January. We might be doing dry January. We might be cooking some stuff. We might be, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's been I can't believe we're about to hit 100 episodes. It's been a hell of a year this year, man. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that you and I have done for this show. And I appreciate everything that you do and keep on doing for the show. And I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else, man.
Just keeps getting better, man.
Yeah, man. And thanks, everybody, who are listening and keep on listening. We appreciate that. Did not expect all you guys to keep on listening. So thank you.
Yeah.
That's cool. We got that going for us.
Yeah, I will say that, too. And maybe I'll get, when we hit our 100th episode, I'll have some more words. But I do feel like this has grown, like this year, exponentially more than we could have imagined. And it just keeps getting better. And super, super appreciative for all of the friends that we've made and that continue to support us and include us with all of the cool things that they're doing. That helps us keep plugging along and makes the whole thing of like, oh, we got to do an episode. And it's like, no, like people want to talk to us. So like it's
yeah.
It went from like just being us hanging out and talking about stuff, and we were homebrewing more at the time, which I think early resolution for 2023 is going to be more.
It's always my fucking resolution.
Yeah.
But I got to do it this year.
I think the last 2 years you've said, I'm not going to buy beer. I'm just going to brew beer.
I got to stop buying beer. Yeah. I got to start brewing it, man.
Yeah. And I'm kind of in the same category. Like I want to brew more, man. Like I've got, got a kegerator. Like I've got the ways to do it or serve it. So,
we got friends who will drink it.
Yeah. And now that for, most situations, things are getting, better. We can start having more people over and like having people taste our homebrews and doing like more episodes surrounding around homebrew.
And bringing to the friends that we've made along the way at breweries to, give us honest feedback. Mainly on your beers, because they'll say they're good. If I could bring them my beer, they'll be like, here, we need some help.
You make good beers.
Thanks, man. All right, man. Well, that's gonna do it for this week, everybody. We'll keep gushing over how much we love all of you and ourselves in a couple weeks. But until then, Brandon, love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.